What is Manpower's current take on the state of the global labour market?
Overall, the employment outlook for the first quarter of 2011 shows a growing confidence from employers across the world. The survey reveals improved hiring intentions from employers in 28 of the 39 countries that we survey, suggesting a much more positive start to the new year for the labor market. The results are particularly encouraging across the G7 countries, where hiring intentions have improved both since last quarter and since this time last year. Employers in the Asia-Pacific region continue to report the strongest hiring intentions globally. The most optimistic hiring intentions overall are reported in India and China.
What about EMEA? Are hiring prospects there less optimistic?
Well, in the EMEA region, first quarter hiring intentions remain somewhat muted. It seems that employers are still being a bit cautious. However, we are noticing some improvements, although they're not universal across the region. The Net Outlook employment survey weakened in 11 countries from 3 months ago, but we are seeing improvements year over year with hiring intentions in 12 countries in the region.
Are there any particular countries or sectors which stand out in Europe?
Oh yes, the bright spot in Europe continues to be Germany. The unemployment rate there is at its lowest in 18 years, and engineers and financial professionals in particular continue to be in very high demand. In fact, the hiring forecast from finance and business services employers is the strongest first quarter outlook since we began conducting the survey in Germany back in 2003. We're also seeing particularly encouraging signs from the finance and business sector across the rest of EMEA, with favorable outlooks reported by employers in 16 of the 21 countries where we conduct our survey. In addition to Germany, the hiring intentions in the sector are particularly strong from employers in Norway, Switzerland, and the UK.
So what strategies should employers adopt to ensure they can attract and retain the key talent they need?
Well, let's take the example of employers in finance and business services. They should be focusing on developing strategies to attract and retain key talent, as competition is likely to increase as the economy recovers. When you look at the demographic shifts, things such as the aging workforce, there will be talent shortages. And this squeeze means that in the future, more than ever, it's going to be the companies who have access to the best talent who have the clear competitive advantage. Businesses need to develop a clear talent pipeline which identifies future talent pools and also consider implementing training and development strategies to upskill and retain the existing employee base. On the other end of the spectrum, confidence in the Greek and Spanish markets continues to erode, so we do have our challenges in some of the EMEA territories. However, data for Italy shows improved hiring expectations for the third consecutive quarter, resulting in the first positive forecast from Italian employers in more than 2 years.
So we're now officially out of the recession, yet hiring in many countries remains somewhat hesitant. What does next year hold for the labour market, 2011, and what can employers do to prepare their talent pipeline for 2011 and beyond?
That's a great question. The recovery that typically succeeds a recession has been very slow to take off this time around. We're seeing more hesitant hiring than after previous recessions, with permanent hiring in particular lagging many months behind the overall recovery. Although hiring intentions have improved, employers in 16 out of the 21 countries surveyed in EMEA actually report cautious hiring intentions, somewhere between -5% and +5% outlook. We're also seeing particular hesitancy to hire for permanent positions, with many businesses choosing instead to rely on contingent workers. Overall, employers have learned to do more with less. They've reduced their workforces dramatically, and they're now looking for the perfect fit of skills. They're refusing to hire permanently until they find that perfect fit. This means that although hiring intentions are muted, many employers continue to experience talent shortages and a growing mismatch between the talent they need and the talent that's available. In this post-recession environment, talent is set to become the key competitive differentiator as businesses compete to attract and retain the right employees to drive their business forward. It's now more important than ever that employers have a talent strategy in place, one that identifies business critical roles and outlines strategies to ensure that the employers have the talent to win in what is set to become an increasingly competitive marketplace as we enter 2011.